Oh, this is kind of really important. The little idea that came out of stuff I was just saying in about strumming. It's totally applicable to all levels of playing. Is that there's an engine, and the engine that pushes your music on is the pulse and the meter, and your arm, as I've already said, expressed, has to track every part of that. So tick and tock and tock and tock and tick and tock and tock and tock and tick and so on, as I've already described. But it's very, very important, and I think it's worth just isolating this piece of information to say that that's the engine. There's no sound. That's the engine, and that must be perfectly locked with the meter, and at all times, all hands are on ups, all ticks and tocks are on down. Without and this is where you have to be extremely, extremely rigid with yourself. But the sounds that you make, as long as your hand's doing that, the sounds will always be in a correct place rhythmically. So you can just decide on where to put those strums. And there's not enough. You don't do this consciously. You do it by feel and by rhythm. And the reason we're using language is because when you speak language, you don't have to think. It just comes out of your mouth. And when you read and speak language, within reason, you don't have to think too much, and it just comes out of your mouth. So if your strum is like language, the noises that you make, but your engine is perfectly running perfectly, then you end up with, so on. It's not interesting harmonically, but rhythmically. She lime in the coconut, she drank them both up. She put the lime in the coconut, she drank them both up. She put the lime. And it might not look it. It's hard for you to see, but my hand never varies from up, down, hands on the ups, ticks, tucks on the down. So I think just to make that distinction of the rhythm, even though it's done with the same arm, the arm motion is the engine, and the rhythm is where you decide to strum, and then the strategies that we use are things like language, rhythm, and that kind of stuff to make the noises. I suppose it's a little bit like if in language, if the engine is your lungs pushing air out through your thing, but the way you control the release of that air with the shape of your lips and your mouth and your tongue and everything else modulates the sound to produce language. But the engine is the air coming out of your lungs. If you have lung problems, you know, COPD, you'll be out of breath, and you won't be able to, extreme COPD or something, you wouldn't be able to speak for very long because you haven't got the engine's not there. And it's the same. This engine has to be strong and robust and keep going. It's something I've been trying to explain for years, and I think that's just finally come up with this is a way of doing, as a good way of distinguishing the two.